function. Now, as I've mentioned, there's a host of fights set for the night, but one clash which I particularly like, I do love it, is the rematch between British heavyweight champion Derek Chisora and Sam Sexton. This is for the British and Commonwealth titles. I'm not sure if it's for both because things can change because of a variety of reasons. Now, Chisora beat Danny Williams in May and stopped Sexton in 6 rounds 2 years ago. In fact, it's probably only going to be for the Commonwealth because I think Tyson Fury is probably going to put pressure on for Chisora, but that's the way it works. But it'll be for something. It'll be over 12 rounds. It'll be fantastic. It will be a rematch of their fights, and Big Sam, he says he's ready to repeat. No, Big Derek rather says he's ready to repeat the trick.
Ding dong, round 2. I'm looking forward to it, man. You know, Sam hasn't been in the ring for almost a year now. His last fight was with Martin Rogan. I watched that fight. Got something for him.
Has he been calling you out at all?
No, no one calls me out. No one is stupid enough to call me out because they know I'm crazy, man. I'll knock on their door and say, let's do it.
How far are we from seeing you sort of off to Vegas and fighting in the really big fights, do you think?
Soon, man. Soon. It's up to me, man. I would be in Vegas right now because I know I'm good for Vegas. I'm good for anybody. So I'm ready to fight anybody, to be honest with you.
So how can you dislike Del Boy Chisora when he says no one's mad enough, no one's crazy enough to call me up because I'm mad? I'll go and knock on their door and ask them to get it on. You can't dislike Del Boy Chisora. He's having a laugh. He's happy as Larry. He's done what he had to do. He's going to be fighting Sam Sexton. That's going to be fantastic. And then at some stage it'll be Tyson Fury, and then it might be, I don't know, Marty Rogan, could even be Audley Harrison. And fantastic. He's entertaining, Del Boy. He fights from his heart. You can't doubt that. He ain't like an England footballer. Anyway, Norwich fighter Sam Sexton has been, you know, to be honest with you, he's got his head over that defeat and he's had some problems with his mother, but he's ready now for Chisora this time.
He knows he's got to fight me, and he's scared. Yeah. You know, to be fair, I mean, I don't run anyone down, but you cannot compare me as the same fighter anywhere close to the last time we fought. You know, it's just I'm just a completely different fighter, and I'm getting better all the time. So he knows it, I know it, and that's why he's quiet, because he knows he can't beat me.
Sam, do you think there's a chance this might not happen because Del might find something else to do? Is there a chance? I mean, am I sensing a bit of that in your voice?
Well,
it's okay. You can tell the truth.
Well, there's always that chance, isn't there? I mean, it's got to happen, isn't it? There's got to happen. I want the fight, and come on, everyone wants to see this fight. So everyone ever talks to me, I mean, this is a big British fight. He's on top of his game, I'm on top of my game. Everyone wants to see it.
It's a great division, the heavyweights, at the moment, in my opinion. And there's a couple of old guys that are sort of either moving off or nearly moving off. Matt Skelton's even coming back, and that's a big old scout. Marty Rogan's going to come back at some stage. Audley's still out there. He's just above domestic level in a sense. He's looking for a world title. Obviously, we've got David at the top, but let's forget about that. You've got Tyson Fury out there. I mean, a British champion or a Commonwealth champion from Britain, he's got half a dozen decent fights in the next 18 months, and you can make some decent money. And what's more, you can put a bit of respect back in the British heavyweight division. That's something you'd plan on doing and like to do, Sam?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think, to be honest, no disrespect, we could forget about the older fighters now. And like you said, there's a new breed of heavyweight coming through, and there is some good fighters. I rate them. Everyone else rate them. You know, I'm an honest man. You know, they are good fighters. You know,
and they're in good fights.
Yeah, and they're in good fights, and they're only going to make better fights. You know, in the next couple of years, I think we're going to see a very good heavyweight domestic scene.
Because Rogan's desperate to get you back in the ring. You're desperate to get Chisora back in the ring. Tyson Fury's just desperate to get anybody in the ring, and he'll talk. I mean, that's a good thing. There's some good talkers as well, and you're a bunch of sort of good kids. You're marketable, and that's good, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think the biggest talker is definitely Tyson Fury. But although I think he's calmed down a bit as well compared to what he was. Don't get me wrong, people say he's not this, he's not that. Tyson Fury's a good fighter.
It's a big old
Simple as that. He's a big lump, he's a good fighter, but there's so many flaws in him. He just needs to get more fights, and he needs to learn more. He doesn't seem like he's learning to me. You know, I mean, from the first time he fought John McDermott, you'd think that'd be a totally different ball game. He came out, he started far too fast. In my opinion, McDermott overtrained for the fight, and Tyson Fury undertrained for the fight. You know, he was tired, and if he wouldn't have got that punch in, then he would have been in trouble.
So one was unlucky and one was lucky, and they just met on that night. That's the way to look at it.
Yeah, basically it was definitely a 50-50 fight. I personally think that McDermott won the first fight along with most other people, but that had to happen again. That has happened again. Fury's come through, and to be honest, for me, that's better than Tyson Fury did come through, because look at the fights that can be made. I mean, I know they're going to beat Chisora, and I will beat Chisora, believe me. I'll bet my house on it. Right. Then who's next up? Tyson Fury, another big fight for the British to see. You know what I mean? So I'm excited about it as much as anyone else. You know, I don't duck anyone. I went in the prize fighter. I fought Chris Burton, who was top of the game at the time. I beat Chris. You know, I stopped Chris. Then everyone was raving about Martin Rogan, how good he was. You know, I beat him at the top of his game, and I'm not going to. No one can say I'm fighting people who were past it.
That was Sam Sexton. He's a good talker, Sam Sexton. His mother was poorly. That's why he pulled out of a fight earlier this year against Chisora, the original rematch. She's doing a lot better now, which is I asked him offline. Some people have asking me online, did I mention that, was I suggesting that Chisora would duck Tyson Fury? No, I was saying that Chisora will duck and dive, and if something better comes up, and there's always better options out there, you know, things fall out of bed.